This is Plant-Based Briefing Episode 6, Milk, the Top 10 Scariest Things, from switchforgood.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and this is the curated content plant-based podcast where I read to you articles from experts with their permission relating to healthy, compassionate, and sustainable living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. Today's post is from the folks at switchforgood.org. They're an evidence-based nonprofit dedicated to rattling accepted norms around dairy and health. They're working to abolish the current system of dietary racial oppression and promoting solutions for climate change. They have a wealth of resources on their website, and also check out their awesome podcast, hosted by Olympic medalist Dotsie Bausch and Baywatch actress and health coach Alexandra Paul. They'll inspire and educate you to start living better and feeling better. You can find it all at switchforgood.org. And now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Milk, the Top 10 Scariest Things, from switchforgood.org. Everyone has their own reasons for ditching dairy. Personal health, sustainability, and ethics are common motivations. When you realize what cow's milk actually does to the body, the planet, and the animals, the truth is downright scary. If you're struggling in your commitment or need some talking points to help others make the switch, we've compiled the top 10 scariest facts about milk. At least one, if not all, is bound to make you shudder. Number 1. 65% of the global population is lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerance is a digestion issue resulting from a genetic deficiency in which a person lacks the enzyme lactase. Without this crucial enzyme, the body cannot break down lactose, which is a sugar component of milk. Uncomfortable symptoms result from one's inability to digest this food, and they can range in severity. Common symptoms include bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, cramping, and stomach pain. When there are so many amazing dairy-free products on the market, there's no need to suffer through these awful symptoms. 2. Dairy has been linked to acne and eczema. Suffering from severe acne or itchy eczema? Cutting out dairy could be the solution. While there's still some debate as to the direct correlation between dairy foods and these skin conditions, some experts believe that the hormones and IGF-1 found in dairy contribute to acne issues, and eczema could be the result of a dairy allergy reaction. No matter the link, we've experienced firsthand the benefits a dairy-free lifestyle can have on complexion. Several of our coalition members have cured themselves by ditching dairy. Dr. Angie Sadeghi no longer suffers from chronic eczema, and bodybuilder Brian Turner reversed his teenage acne by giving up dairy at 15 years old. The secret to radiant skin isn't found in a bottle or milk carton. It is found through a plant-based diet. Number 3. Dairy can exacerbate asthma symptoms. Short of breath? Dairy doesn't help. Studies have shown that asthma sufferers can significantly reduce or eliminate their symptoms by giving up dairy and other animal foods. In one study, 92% of participants saw drastic improvements after giving up dairy for a year. Athletes can also benefit from ditching dairy. Triathlete Brendan Brazier and Olympic sprinter Malachi Davis both claim to breathe better during workouts after making the switch for good. Number 4. Dairy can stimulate unregulated cell growth, increasing one's risk for hormone-dependent cancers. The purpose of cow's milk is to make a baby cow grow into an adult cow, gaining around 1,000 pounds as it reaches adulthood. While humans don't drink as much cow's milk as a calf, milk's growth-stimulating powers still have an effect. Number 5. Dairy can cause severe allergic reactions. For those with a dairy allergy, rather than intolerance, consuming dairy isn't just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. Depending on the severity, symptoms range from wheezing, hives, vomiting, and even life-threatening anaphylaxis. What's more, these symptoms may not present themselves for several days after a person has consumed dairy, making the allergy extremely difficult to diagnose. One sure way to avoid these symptoms? Ditch dairy. 6. Dairy can lead to brittle bones and increase the risk of bone fracture. Sure, cow's milk contains calcium, but only about 30% of it can be absorbed by the body. In fact, a 12-year prospective study found that regular daily consumption of dairy products actually increased one's risk of hip fracture. Want strong bones? Try tahini, bok choy, and broccoli instead. 7. Dairy has been linked to many preventable chronic conditions such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Cow's milk contains trans and saturated fats, both of which have been linked to heart disease and obesity. It also triggers our bodies to produce excess amounts of insulin, which work against type 2 diabetes prevention. 8. Dairy contributes to deplorable animal welfare practices. In order to produce milk, a dairy cow must be pregnant. These cows are forcibly impregnated for 4 to 6 years to create as much milk as possible. When they give birth, their calves are taken away from them in less than 48 hours, never to be seen again. Male calves are sent to slaughter, and female calves enter into the same depressing cycle as their mothers. After a dairy cow is spent, meaning she can no longer produce a high volume of milk, she too is sent to slaughter. Dairy cows' lives are cut short by an average of 15 years. Number 9. Dairy promotes corporate fast food culture and drives the creation of high-calorie foods that are making us sick. Pizza Hut didn't create the stuffed crust pizza. The U.S. government did. As part of the government-run dairy checkoff program, a department within the USDA is responsible for marketing and promoting milk and milk products to consumers. One way it accomplishes this is by partnering with national fast food chains like Pizza Hut, Domino's, Taco Bell, and Starbucks to increase the dairy options on their menus. And number 10, dairy is not a health food. Refer to reasons 1 through 9. Dairy won't make you stronger, faster, leaner, or healthier. However, it could make you sicker. Don't go through life dealing with dairy-induced symptoms, thinking they're normal and just a part of life. Live better. Ditch dairy. You just listened to Milk, the Top 10 Scariest Things, from the good people at switchforgood.org. And this is the Plant-Based Briefing Podcast, the curated content plant-based podcast in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. Please subscribe and share this podcast. You can share it by sending a link to the website plantbasedbriefing.com. And if you could take a minute to rate and review the podcast, I'd really appreciate it. It helps it get more exposure. Thanks so much for listening.